Hello, hello, hello. I need one of those things Mary has. Hi, it's wonderful to be here. I love you, I love you, I love you. Mary, Martin, Tove, and Cat. This is a cat. Wow. The purring, so beautiful. What draws us to look, to feel, to go within ourselves? For me, it was a pain, like a deep longing or yearning. I remember feeling like there was two entities inside of myself, like two versions of myself that were uh, opposing each other or something. I felt like I was being pulled in two different directions. And looking back on it, it seems more clear that those two factions within myself were Of course, I'm generalizing two factions, but it seemed that one of them was the person who I thought I was supposed to be, the person who my family or society, who I felt that they wanted me to be. My head was filled with ideas of what a what a good life should look like, and things that I had to do to be accepted and be happy and be successful or something. This was sort of the nourished by my mind, my ideas, concepts. But then there was the much more visceral part of me that which I'll say was my heart that wanted something just simple. It just wanted to love, to connect, to play, to create, to sit in the joy, in the company of others, and just experience what it is to be alive. But for some reason, I told myself that I couldn't be that way. Hi, Jay. But the dissonance inside of myself between my mind and my heart just kept growing and growing. And I was relating to the whole world through the filter of my mind. And everyone I met and everyone I talked to knew me as that personality. But something deep inside of me felt so unrecognized. Like no one truly knew me, no one truly saw me or recognized who I was, because I was living by these rules that I made for myself. I was trying to be who I thought people wanted me to be. And it made me so sad. And I felt so lonely, even though I had people all around me. And this dissonance, this pain, this torture inside was what drew me inwards. I wanted to reconnect with the things that my heart was saying. And live from there instead of having everything being translated through my mind. My heart wants something, my mind looks at it first and translates it into something else, tries to be logical about it, reasonable, tries to find out how it would be useful for all these ulterior motives. But the mind can't express the words of the heart. What is in the heart of each of us is something that can't be fractioned. In the same way that money is only money is constantly changing its value, but it itself is based on the value of gold or something timelessly precious. The heart is the same. It's invaluable. The mind is only the mind is a thoughts, a currency based on this invaluable treasure within us. For even when our mind grows old and gets set in its ways, the heart of each of us is ageless, completely ageless, innocent. It just wants to play and love always, always. It doesn't need the mind to express itself. It doesn't need words. If we ask children about what love is, their answers are so simple and so sweet and so pure because their minds are not flooded yet. There's so much of this world that is built by minds. It's built by the mind. Everybody is interacting with their mind always. And that's why it truly feels like a different world when you go into your heart and you live from your heart. It truly feels like a different world. And it almost feels like you don't fit in to this world. But you do, because there's heart everywhere, there's love everywhere. The whole universe is made of love, it feels like. And we can express it in many ways beyond words. We can dance, we can smile, we can sing. We can put our hair up in very strange ways. We can purr. We can wail at the stars. We can sigh in relief, in joyous relaxation. Ah. And we can inspire this in other people simply by living from there. Once again, um, it's not so much about talking. Yes, we all know love is great. Yes, we all know that money shouldn't be everything. And we all know this and that. But how many of us actually show that love is more important to us? It's our actions that inspire. Words are very cheap, I say as I'm speaking them. But it's true. It's what we do, not what we say. that inspires people. One of the most inspirational moments of my entire life was when Ed, this this um, man with 30, 40, 50 years of spiritual um, practice under his belt, and 2 or 3 thousand um, Facebook followers or whatever, uh, and quite a reputation for being from a wonderful lineage. Uh, when he said, "I love you," the first times that I came here, it it didn't strike me. It was just words. I've heard those words many times, but I couldn't feel anything from it. I guess I didn't trust that he was being sincere when he said that. But then a day came where someone who he loved very much got in trouble, and his actions at that time just blew me away, because he acted like a complete bozo. He didn't care about his reputation. It was as if he threw away his 50 years of spiritual practice and just desperately dove in the direction of love without any second thought, not an ounce of hesitation. And that confused the shit out of me for like 3 days. And then it hit me that he wasn't just saying, "I love you." He actually meant it. And he was willing to give up his entire life's work, his entire life's work in spirituality and gaining this reputation. He's willing to throw it all away just for a chance. Not even a small chance, a very small chance, but just for a chance, any chance at all, for love. That just, that fucked me up. And I love it. That totally ripped me to shreds. And I realized that my entire life, I've been trying to be reasonable. I had been trying to be logical. I had been trying to use the gadgets of my intellect in all matters, even the matters of the heart. What a foolish thing to do. But as soon as my heart was struck by that action, My mind was obliterated, completely obliterated. My heart was just screaming with joy, freedom, freedom, as if I'd locked it away for the last 15 years of my life or something. And finally it was touched. It was in the open. It was tender and strong and free. And it was fucking terrifying. But the terrifying part was only in my head. The terror was what my mind thought about all of this. The feeling itself was absolute, majestic, magnificent, marvelous, magnanimous, minimum, just beautiful, beautiful power, warmth. And my mind was so scared that something was bigger than it and that it could not control this feeling. And it occurred to me that my fear of unleashing it was that very thing. If I let myself love with all my heart, if I let my heart take the wheel, what if I can't control it? What if it destroys me? What if it never stops? What if when the floodgates open, it's just a raging torrent forever? But sometimes that's a risk you have to take. Because for me, living in a prison, having my heart in a prison and holding back my love every day of my life was far more painful than this terror of unleashing it. Even to this day, 2 years later or more, if I enter my mind and I identify with my mind, I'm fucking terrified because I don't know anything. I don't know anything. I have no control whatsoever. I can't even control my hair. Look at it. It's crazy. My mind is absolutely terrified. And that's okay. It's good. It can be helpful to be scared sometimes. It's healthy to be scared about some things. You should be scared about sleeping on the road in the middle of the day. It's not a good idea. Don't do it. Just want to make that clear. I do not recommend sleeping on the road in the middle of the day. The mind can be very helpful, but the mind is a prude. Okay? Very prudish, very boring, very by the book, always playing by the rules, always protecting, always trying to control. It's it really ruins the buzz because the heart just wants to play. The heart wants to trust. The heart wants to love. And the mind is like the worried parent saying, I don't think you should stay away from that person, or you should watch out. Don't draw with crayons on the wall. You're gonna we got to clean that up. But there's just such a joy in the freedom of unleashing your heart and just being playful and loving and exuding love and joy, and creating, not creating something that has any value, even just creating. I just forgot what I was going to say. The thing that we have to recognize is that many, many, many people are identified with their minds. And so when their mind is terrified, they are terrified. When my mind is terrified, I am terrified. But the interesting thing that I've found is that my mind is kind of in its own world. It's kind of just doing its own thing. And there's a whole other world beneath it, around it. Yes, my mind is afraid of love. It's afraid of sharing too openly. It's afraid of trusting people. And that's all my heart wants to do is those things. And it's interesting that to my mind, my heart is almost an enemy, or like a power to be reckoned with. And to my heart, it's nothing. It doesn't. The mind doesn't matter. The mind is uh, is nothing. My heart trusts my mind as well, which is could be bad, could be good. This is why it's important. The things that we tell ourselves, because our heart, this is why people say that love is blind. The heart is blind. It innocently moves in the direction of love. If it's given a story, it believes it. This is the part of us that can watch a movie and fall in love with the characters and fall in love with the movie and feel like we're inside the film, and we cry when something sad happens in the film, even though our mind knows it's just a movie. The events aren't real, the characters aren't real, but our heart wants to believe. Now you can totally ignore your mind and dive into your heart and face that fear of loving and opening, being vulnerable. being devoted, being humble and surrendering to a life of servitude for love. That can be very hard to do. Completely ignore the mind, especially if we're identified with the mind very strongly. And if that is the case, this is what stories are for. If your heart wants to believe, wants to trust, if your heart is the source of your faith, then why not tell stories to empower that, to draw that out? For me, it was the story of surrender to love and devotion. Because my mind did not want to surrender. It's a painful thought to my mind. But the more that I did it, the more that I surrendered, the stronger my heart felt. And finally, the dissonance within me began to feel like harmony. Because my heart didn't have to speak through the translation of my mind anymore. My mind was no longer the master, the warden of my heart. But instead, my mind and everything that I thought I was, everything that I think I am, is constantly surrendered, surrendered, surrendered to the love in my heart. I don't want to control it. I don't want to own it. I don't want to boss it around. I want to serve it. And now a wonderful orchestra of a symphony of warmth and glowing sweetness feels like it's constantly gushing from me. And it makes me feel silly and goofy and giggly and playful and foolish, but I don't care because I never wanted to be smart or successful. I just wanted to love. And I'm so grateful to be able to do that here with all of you. I'm so grateful to feel comfortable and at home in my own skin, in my own consciousness, because I'm not trying to be two things or three things or four things or five different people. I'm not trying to please everybody. I'm just being who I am, experiencing who I am, learning who I am in every moment, and loving everything that comes up, trusting that who I am is okay. I don't have to be anybody else, and neither do you. If you like to talk, talk. If you like to sing, sing. If you like to dance, dance. If you like to paint with your fingers, paint with your fingers. If you love to smile, then smile. If you love to frown, do it. That's you. If you're a curmudgeon like Ed, just do it. Just just be it.